Hello, my friend. Mindset 101. Today, I want to give you guys another mindset tool. This is a mindset shift. It is something that I've developed for myself and my clients over several years now. And it is, in a way, simple, but yet it takes a lot of training and reminding every day, reminding ourselves every day to get into that specific mindset. I was talking to somebody that is very close to me yesterday, and the person said, how were you able to maintain who you are, the way you care about people after the things that you went through? So I have to explain this a little bit. I went through major shifts in my life. Um, Several years ago, it left me with CPTSD. I have ADD my whole life, which I realized later on it has a lot of advantages as well. But I had to learn to clear up, to close the loop. So when we talk about trauma, CPTSD, PTSD, and so on, anxiety disorder, there are different aspects. Every person experience some form of trauma in their life. No child comes through childhood without trauma. For some children and adults, the trauma is more severe. There are different components to it. There's the genetic component, but also obviously a learning component. That's the biggest aspect to it. And I told her that my worldview did get shattered, and I changed the way I look at people and the society. And at that time, I realized that if somebody that is close to you, if that person can do such cruel things, who are we as human beings? And I teach my children always, we always have the black and the white wolf within ourselves, and very often we're somewhere in the gray. We're not all good, we're not all bad. The goal is to choose the white wolf as often as possible. Now, to come back to the situation, it did shift the way I look at people, and I realized that people maybe not care as much as I thought they would. And it went in a direction that created a lot of depression in my life. And I realized that my shifted view of the world wasn't contributing to my own life. My world was shrinking. And I became resentful. And I realized, well, this is not the place I want to be, and the way I want to live life. And the more I was pointing outwards, I realized the more my life was shrinking. So I came to the conclusion, well, what if I look inwards? And what if I shift the way I perceive the world around me? So one of the biggest shifts for me was, instead of life is happening to me, or something happened to me, when stressful or quote unquote unfair situations occur, then I shift immediately to life is happening for me. So for me, when let's say somebody does something that's inappropriate or doesn't come from the right moral code, in that moment I go to life is happening for me. What does that mean? I'm maintaining my power to decide how that situation affects me. I can let that aggravate me. I can let the other person have a negative effect on my mindset. I don't let any other person control how I feel within anymore. I have to decide that for myself. And with these filters, it helps me to maintain that. So when life happens to me, or for me, life happens for me, I can decide how do I want to react in this situation. And my next question is, what can I learn from this, and how can I improve? So one for me was, I did have to become a little bit more disagreeable. I had to learn to create boundaries and to hold my and my ground, and in a compassionate way. And I realized that it is like putting on these lenses. We all filter a lot of information out. Our body filters 11 million bits of information per minute, and we are just taking these filters, and we're just filtering 128 bits. Some people say even 55 bits per second out. So from this vast information, we filter very small information out. And so with that conclusion, it made me realize that we can decide how we want to live life. It's not what happens around us. It is how our perception of the situation is. So we always have the ability to put our lenses on. And this is something that I want to encourage you. It is something that we can train. So I have to do this every morning. I have like certain belief systems that structure my mind, and I go over it every day. It is something that you can train, the same as you go to the gym and you move weights, you increase the resistance. And here it's the same thing. You start with simple principles and then add other principles, but just through the repetition and applying these principles when life gets stressful, when somebody reacts or attacks you, or stressful situations occur. That's where you have to have your lenses, and you have to train this in advance so that you can then go through these situations with the right mindset that empowers yourself, that keeps you at ease, that keeps you happy, that makes you filter out a beautiful day, right? We all have been there where we go through a beautiful day like this, a blue sky, and we are just sitting in our head and we're just miserable, We can sit in the beach, a beautiful place, and, be in our mind and not enjoying the moment, or shift our mindset and look for all the good things in our life and shift our mindset and improve our life dramatically. So I hope this helped you guys, and I talk to you guys soon.